I will say one thing. This game could have been much worse. But at least they gave it a fight in the second half. Hey, but I know it's a tough situation to be in, being 3-5, losing 4 in a row, and seeing all that, but I think the best, most important thing is gotta move forward, because I think that's the only way you get back in it. So, it is what it is. But anyways, got a lot to talk about, I guess, on the show.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It is your man, Cloudboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports After the Game Analysis. This is our 4th loss in a row. Packers dropped to 3-5 as they cannot take down the red-hot Buffalo Bills. Even though we lost this game, this was actually Josh Allen's worst game, I think, of the year. So at least I can say that. He didn't really do much. I mean, he was outstanding. He's an outstanding player, regardless of anything. But there was a lot of times where he could have done a lot more, and we didn't see that. So, pretty much, you're sitting there understanding that. But Rodgers, on the other hand, I can't sit there completely blame Rodgers. I can't sit there blaming the play calling, the defense. But even though they lost this game, because we did play one of the best teams on the road in a place that the Packers have never even won in their entire career. Thing is, I give them so much credit for even trying. Rodgers went 19 out of 30, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, which was a deflection, which it wasn't his fault. He was sacked twice and a 91 quarterback rating, carry for 11 yards. You know what? It is what it is. I want to see more. I wanted to see more, but there wasn't really anything I could sit there and say. The run game was what really was great. You saw Aaron Jones, 20 carries, 143 yards, and 4 catches for 14. A.J. Dillon had 10 carries for 54 and a catch for 9. I mean, a lot more production from there. Romeo Doubs led the way, 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. It was a pretty epic touchdown, too. It was a really great catch. Samori Toure had his first, I think he had a catch last week too, but he had his first career touchdown, a catch for 37. Tanyan had 5 for 35. Amari Rodgers a catch for 22. Christian Watson, who was back from injury, had a catch for 12 yards before going out after getting hit really hard. Guarantee he suffered a concussion. Not much from anybody. No one had fumbled the ball. Rasul Douglas led the way with 6 total tackles and a sack as well. Preston Smith, Adrian Amos, Quay Walker had 5, and Isaiah McDuffie had 5 tackles. Really not much from anybody. 2 interceptions were made on the day, one by Jair Alexander. It was his 2nd of the season, and Rasul Douglas's 1st of the season. Mason Crosby won 1 of 2 from field goals on the day, and we barely saw any punts. So that's one thing. Josh Allen, on the other hand, he had his career low today. He went 13 out of 25, or 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 6 carries for 49 yards. Devin Singletary had 14 carries for 67 yards, and James Cook had 5 for 35. And Isaiah McKenzie had 2 for 2 yards, including a touchdown, and a catch for 8. Stephon Diggs led the way, going 6 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. James Cook had a catch for 41. Gabriel Davis, 2 catches for 35. Dawson Knox, 2 for 10 and the other touchdown. And not much from pretty much anybody else. Tremaine Edmonds had led the day with 16 tackles. Damian Henlon had 10. And the Matt Milano with the interception on the day for Buffalo. So I can't necessarily sit there and say we had some great plays made from our offense. Our running game played fantastic, and when the running game plays great, that's what's going to make a difference. We also want to see, I think I want to see some more Iture play more, especially in the slot. That's what he did at Nebraska, and I think he deserves more playing time. I know he's a 7th round pick, but I definitely want to give him more chances. That's what I think is important. Dobbs, the thing about Dobbs is he has so much potential to be a great player, but he ain't no number 1 receiver. He's a number 2 or a number 3, but he ain't no number 1. And that's what I think the Packers are looking for. Dobbs is a great playmaker, but he is not reliable. And it sucks because none of these receivers do anything. They're not even doing anything. They're just standing in a row and sitting there doing nothing. So, I mean, I can't sit there. Like, they can't get any separation. The run blocking isn't that well. I mean, there's no one that can really block very well. I mean, I don't know. It's just no one can really block for Rodgers. No one can get separation. It's the same old crap. And I know there needs to be something that happens where the Packers wake up, they win a game, and it's like, okay, well, maybe they get some emergence in this. But with the way things are, it's going to be really tough. Plus, I feel like the division is slowly getting out of reach because the Vikings are still winning games. But I'm very perplexed to see what really happens because I want the Packers to at least try. But injuries after injuries are happening. Devondre Campbell left the game with an injury. Preston Smith left the game with an injury. Quay Walker decided to be an idiot and punch a guy. At first, people thought it was a coach because it was a guy that looked like he was in gear to be a coach, and then it turns out it was a practice squad player. But I was like, the guy was literally helping him up, and Quay Walker just goes around and pushes him back, and then he gets ejected for the rest. I mean, that was just a very unclassy move. LaFleur was getting in his face and yelling at him. I'm like, that was pretty wrong. I mean, you don't want to see your first-round draft pick do something like that because that's just not a good look for the team at all. I wanted to definitely try to see some more stuff, but that just isn't what you want to see. I wish that didn't happen, but I think hopefully he learns from this and doesn't do it again. I think that's the most important thing I could say. On the other hand, there's a lot of mental things that are going on with this team, but I think you just got to move past losses. 4 in a row is enough. I think hopefully we win a game sooner or later. I don't want to see anything bad happen, so let's just hope for the best. This is just a bad situation that they're put in, but hey, I guess you got to try to make everything work the best way you can. That's the best way I can think about it. Next week, they play the Detroit Lions in Detroit. It seems like we've just been on the road too much. We've literally been home 3 times this year, so hopefully we get some more home games, and I think that would definitely be great. But other than that, let's just hope for the best, I guess. There's a lot of the season still left. We're at the halfway mark, so we have another half of the season. Lots of things could change. You never know. So let's just try to be optimistic. We can. Hopefully things can turn around. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, go Pack Go. We will of course see you next time.